We got to start living more fearless, respectfully. The goal is to chase and go after anything that you see fit. Anything that's in your grasp, go for it if that's what you want to do. But having fear and the fear of the unknown will stop you from doing something before you even try. A lot of times, fear is created in our imagination, and our imagination creates something bigger than what it actually is. Don't be fearful. Be fearless. Put yourself in situations, work on certain things that's going to help you become more fearless instead of fearful. If you put in the work, put in the time, put in the effort, you shouldn't be fearful for anything, right? And fear's healthy until it stops you from doing something. If you're anxious or you don't know the outcome of something, it's cool to have healthy fear. But once that fear stops you from starting, that's definitely not a good trait to have. We're all going to face failure. We're all going to have flaws. We're all going to be in scary situations. But the goal is to overcome that. The more you overcome those fears, it creates character, it creates confidence. That confidence and character you need is going to put you in situations where um you can adapt to situations and stay calm. Right? I played in a ton of basketball games, a ton of big basketball games, and I remember playing in games and I was just extremely afraid until the ball tipped off and they scored or we scored, and then I was like, I worked for this. Now I'm putting my skills to the test, right? The person on the other side of me is only a person, and I'm willing to go through and for it respectfully. So any obstacle in your way, you got to face that obstacle head on. It's a head on collision, right? Either you're gonna fold or you're gonna stand there and stand up for yourself. It's a ton of us that we truly want to do something, and we keep talking about it and we're not doing it. Why? Is it the fear of success? Is it the fear of failure? Is it the fear of what others gonna say? And why would you have a fear of success? Right? Like I dealt with fear of success because I didn't know how I was going to respond or how I was going to act or how individuals were going to view me once I got to this certain level. Then it came to a point like I worked hard for it and I earned it. I don't care about what anyone say. The fear of what other people are going to say can stop you as well, but you have to start not caring about other people's opinions. What you're doing is not for them in a negative way. What you're doing is for you. And you have every right to go for what you want to achieve. The fear of the unknown, we all been there. We don't know the outcome, and that outcome seems so frightening that I'm just not gonna do it. I'm gonna play it safe. It's no way to live. You're not living if you do that, right? Failure's a learning lesson. And when I look at failure as a sense, it really doesn't exist in my world, but I look at the term failure as going to do something and not getting an outcome that I wanted. But in return, psychologically, I got to understand I didn't fail. I just learned. I gained experience. This is where wisdom comes from. When you put yourself in situations where you don't know what the outcome is going to be, you're able to face it head on. And in return, you create wisdom. Wisdom and experience. Those are two of the best teachers in the world, right? So just understanding that we all have to go through certain things. You're not going to be perfect. You're not going to win every time. And that's okay. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. It's okay not to get the end result. It's okay not to be the winner all the time. But the goal is to minimize how much you don't get the result you want, right? Whatever you chasing, you got to make sure that you're putting yourself in the best situation to get the outcome you want. And how do you do that? Usually we do that by putting in the time, putting in the work, working on that specific craft to the point where it's just first and second nature. At one time, I didn't like public speaking. Now I speak in front of a camera and I put it on YouTube. I would have never thought I came this far, and it took me some time, but at the end of the day, I had to find a confidence and say, you know what, I'm built for it. No matter what you hear in my Soul Food Sundays, it's always going to go back to confidence and not dealing with self doubt. And when I say not dealing with it, meaning I'm not gonna let it stop me or hinder me. Stop being afraid. Stop being fearful. Be fearless. My goal is always to push the narrative of be the best you can be. And how can you be the best person you could be today if you let something internally that's not actually real stop you? Is fear even real? A lot of times, fear is just something in our imagination that we created based upon what we think is going to happen. And what we think is actually not reality, right? One of my good friends, perspective is your reality, right? So if your perspective is it's going to turn out negative, it's going to turn out negative. If your perspective is it's no way I can do this, 9 times out of 10, you won't be able to do it. You already put that energy out in the universe, right?